But currently, trading is not an area, you're right, that we have focused on. And so it seemed like there was a good opportunity here to build this out because most people start there. So if you want to get Dash into the hands of people, that's where you start. Is basically ensuring that these exchanges are there, that Dash is on them, and that they have instant send and chain locks and supporting them wherever you can. And also they support you.
Yeah.
And then once they get the Dash, that's when you take them, and we have a lot of different ramps for this, but into the payments. Now, okay, you have the Dash, you can continue to trade it, or you can use it.
This episode is sponsored by NordVPN. I've been using NordVPN for years since it doesn't log your data, has over 5,300 super fast servers in 59 countries, and I can pay in my favorite cryptocurrency, Dash, which is important since I'm unbanked. Take back your online privacy. Sign up now with the promo code DCN and get 68% off, or just $3.71 per month, plus an additional month free. Go to nordvpn.org/DCN or use the coupon code DCN. So, hey everyone, I have the wonderful pleasure today of speaking with the one and only Omar Hamwi of Dash Core Group. How's it going, Omar?
Good, how are you? Hi, everyone.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm caffeinated, and I am ready to get into this thing fast because the topic of the day is FastPass. And so, obviously, I covered the news when it came out that this FastPass thing launched for Dash. And obviously, you know, me as being sort of a part of the Dash community, one could call, I didn't have a ton of questions because, you know, it just makes sense. However, there's other stuff that I think we could really clear up and kind of get into because I think that this could be one of the more exciting things in the space that doesn't have anything directly to do with actual technical development or a giant business partnership. It's kind of something else, but I think could be huge. But I also really want to learn more. So what's your TLDR quick little breakdown on what exactly is FastPass first?
So FastPass is it's a awareness raising initiative. So if you, okay, so stepping back a bit. The short and sweet is that we have spent the last year adding instant send and chain locks into several platforms, building close partnerships, and this is across the trading ecosystem. So not just with exchanges, but custodials and so on. And one thing we needed to do, beyond just making these announcements and promotions, is to have a single source of information as to which partners have this differentiated user experience for our users. And this is a recognition of that.
Yeah. So basically, for those unaware of this whole special feature, so Dash is a Bitcoin fork. So it's very similar to Bitcoin in its fundamental structure, but because of the master network and a whole bunch of other innovations, it has a few special features. Part of it is instant send, which if you recognize a special feature, every single transaction is completely finalized in about under 2 seconds. And chain locks mean that when a single block is confirmed, it's basically finalized at that point. It's basically permanent. And not every exchange or every service knows how to deal with this, because what people do is they just literally copy and paste the Bitcoin code in with just like, oh, it's Dash instead, and everything runs, or it's Litecoin instead, or it's Dogecoin. It just all runs kind of like that. And so Dash has been used in a suboptimal way for many years. And basically, when exchanges or services implement this special feature, then all of a sudden it kind of gets, now you can actually see, well, wow, I didn't realize all this was going on under the hood. So that's kind of what it is. But when you're talking about FastPass, so essentially, is it just a web, like a page on the main Dash website that just kind of says, oh, by the way, use these kind of services, or is it a little bit more than that?
No, it's a little bit more than that. So there is a criteria to become a FastPass accredited partner. So with chain locks, adding chain locks, of course, like you were mentioning, it adds this security feature, but also it's another way to look at it is like instant send light. So you can perform the same it's similar to InstaSend in the sense that it's fast. So it's about 2.5 minutes to roughly equivalent to confirm or process your transaction, whether it's a deposit, withdrawal, or just a trade. But the criteria is, what we were looking to do, because we're accrediting these partners, it's kind of an endorsement without, using that word. But basically, they have to be large and trusted. They have to be, have between 0 and 2 confirmations. And by large and trusted, I mean, either verified by a third party, or they have, no big ethical qualms, I guess, or issues in the past, and are trusted by their users. And then also, these are 2 of the main categories. However, we do make exceptions for those that offer a unique service within the trading ecosystem for Dash. So what we did was with this FastPass page, it does raise the awareness as to whom they can use, use for trading or different services, custodial, derivatives, margins, and so on. But there is an opportunity here because the vast majority of individuals who are using these platforms are spot traders. People who are going into exchange or just doing one-time trade or something like that, or maybe even more. And then they're hodling the crypto. And so what this opportunity presented was a way to inform our users beyond just what or where rather they can do these things, but the what's, why's, how's. So like taking derivatives for an example, what is a derivative? A lot of people don't know the answer to that. Okay, so let's give that.
I barely know the answer to that almost.
It's complex, right? And so there are different types, and so we walk them through what a derivative is, why would you use it, how to set up that kind of trade, and then where, step by step, basically the idea is to have individuals on the spot side start to use other aspects of the ecosystem, which benefits our partners, of course, but also benefits our users. On the other side, there's also an opportunity to bring in more services through FastPass. So we're not just raising awareness to the users, we're raising awareness to other companies. And this includes as well institutional partners, professional traders, and so on. So we're also performing, we're partnering with a few different well-known institutions that do analysis, that do analytics, and so on, in order to be able to also appeal to the professional side of trading. People are doing this every day, and this is their bread and butter. So there's that. But then there's one other thing that also is really neat. It's like, okay, we've added instant send, we've added chain logs, and done this whole thing, but what can you do with this, right? And so this is besides just depositing, withdrawal, and trading with that one exchange, oh wait, I can do arbitrage. I can automate my trading strategies with bots. I can go to sleep and have my trades done for me, and I don't have to wake up with a heart attack. So,
yeah, exactly.
So there are going to be functional elements that won't take development from our side, but again, it goes into awareness raising. So it's a very broad term I'm using here to cover a lot of different things.
Yeah. So if there's a few different functionalities, so I looked at the page, and obviously there's a few I recognize that take instant send it. As soon as you make a deposit or whatever, it just instantly recognize that. And then there's a few that were chain logs, as in after 2.5 minutes, or in Coinbase, because they're really sticklers with that, like 5 minutes, then they recognize that. And then there's some others that I recognize that might not be that, but use like a staking element. So, and for those unfamiliar, Dash doesn't do staking per se. Like you can't just set aside like 4 or 5 Dash and just be like, all right, I'm going to get recurring and rewards off of this. It's 1,000 Dash to run a masternode, and then you get that. And so a staking service would be you deposit something, and then the company then runs a masternode and then gets the bits for you and then sends it back. And then there's like a few other little things. And so when what kind of experience can the average customer today expect when they visit the FastPass page? Because my initial, based on the name of it, thinking was, oh, it's all going to be fast. It's all going to be really quick. But some of them might not be very fast, but they have staking or whatever. And so that might be confusing to an average person kind of use it. So first off, is there a common feature among all of this? And if not, is there going to be some kind of a differentiator, or is that, or if not, are you kind of aiming for trying to get everyone on board to just have all the common features anyway?
So who's in the FastPass are, like I was saying, they do have that common feature where it's needed. So like to your point, staking is not a speed-driven element, but it is an important component in the trading ecosystem as opposed to just keeping your Dash in, a wallet and just, it's kind of like putting your money under a couch versus putting it into like some sort of, interest accruing account. So it's also trying to offer everything a trader would need. So but at the same time, we're validating that this the service has a good user experience or is offering a good rate or something like that. Like there is an aspect to it that is that involves some level of due diligence to ensure that our users are benefiting from this. If you look at, I think we released this back in Q2 2020. There is during the quarterly call, there was one of the slides, I think it's in the business development section, that was showing the entire trading ecosystem and what we're trying to, we broke it up into different pieces and what do we need it to basically be robust enough for users to use it, but also give them options. So we needed, of course, speed. We needed to have options. And I'm not talking about derivative options, but like just choices. Exactly. And then it also needs liquidity, and it needs a few other things. So that's what we're doing. So this FastPass is meant to, it's fast where it needs to be, and it's robust where it needs to be.
Yeah. It seems like this, first off, kind of brings some much needed attention to the trading elements of Dash. And this has been one of those constant battles in Dash in the past is, as at some point Dash decided to pivot towards a digital cash for everyday people. Nice, light blue and nice cool logo and just squeaky clean kind of PayPal-y sort of corporate image that like a lot of the cypherpunk people were just not happy about, that it was very mainstream. And as part of that has been there's been a lot of discussion in the community, like what can we do to pump the coin? What are we going to do to just make people buy into that? Because crypto is a lot of that kind of stuff. Generate hype, get a lot of people to buy your coin, and then the price goes up. And Dash as a whole, but particularly Dash Core Group, is kind of shied away from that. I'm sure there's regulatory reasons as well as just ethical reasons. Like, don't just, hey, buy my coin, like what can you do with it? So first off, this kind of trading, I think that a lot of traders have really slept on Dash because, the arbitrage kind of capabilities are just so cool. You can just instantly get deposits on all kinds of different exchanges and withdrawals all in the same little ecosystem. And so I do feel like this is an attempt to try to shine the light back on that. And so first off, is this initiative mostly targeted towards traders, or is it for now kind of trader focused, but then eventually you're doing something else?
So, okay, no, that's all. Those are all really good points. I have a few different answers for this. So you're absolutely right. The Dash is a payments-focused cryptocurrency, and it still is a payments-focused cryptocurrency. But this is appealing to. I mean, it is the trading ecosystem right currently. Down the line, we may expand this into payments as well, because there are several payments partners that have instant standard chain locks, have a great user experience, and so on. But currently, trading is not an area, you're right, that we have focused on. And so it seemed like there was a good opportunity here to build this out, because most people start there. So if you want to get Dash into the hands of people, that's where you start. Is basically ensuring that these exchanges are there, that Dash is on them, and that they have instant sending chain locks and supporting them wherever you can, and also they support you.
Yeah.
And then once they get the Dash, that's when you take them, and we have a lot of different ramps for this, but into the payments. Now, okay, you have the Dash, you can continue to trade it, or you can use it. And in all likelihood, they'll probably trade it for a bit, and that's why we're also attracting professional traders, but also simultaneously having spot traders do more with Dash so that they become more used to using Dash, more, they start to see the differences, versus, let's say, Bitcoin. I'm not talking Lightning Network, but like just generally, or Ethereum, where the cost of the transaction is really high and the speed is not as fast. So, like for example, you were saying with arbitrage, Dash can be used to move, not just to take advantage of an arbitrage opportunity for Dash, but if you see like a BTC, I don't know, Ethereum pair on some other exchange that you want to take advantage of, it's faster to move Dash there, and assuming it has a low transaction cost, exchange it into BTC and take advantage of that trade, versus just moving your BTC and waiting until the opportunity's come. So
Yeah.
But however, we are still focused on payments. The business development team, we're still working on our other strategies, which include Venezuela, which hyperinflation, and esports and different markets like that, in order to simultaneously have people use Dash and have the places they need and they want to use Dash. So it's all part of an ecosystem, right? Like trading ecosystem is a subsect of the larger Dash ecosystem, but because that's where a lot of people are coming from and that's where a lot of people are getting their Dash, it's important to have that built up. And if they go to an exchange and have to wait 3 days or 50 confirmations to get their Dash, they're probably not going to use it again.
Yeah, and that's one thing is the crypto space is super speculative still, where people, I'm sure we're seeing the DeFi craze as we speak, and just people buying all kinds of different produce themed tokens like yams and sushis and stuff like that. And it's very strange to see, but there is a cold hard reality that does hit, and I kind of see it show up in markets sometimes. So for example, when Bitcoin hit its scaling limit in late 2016 and then towards 2017, its market dominance factor started to drop a lot faster. It was naturally the market was naturally diversifying a little bit over time, but when that hit, it just started to become more apparent. And when Ethereum hit its CryptoKitties kind of scaling problems at the same time as Bitcoin mania was going on, then all of a sudden Litecoin, because of Coinbase, who was the other one on Coinbase at the time, hit just astronomical transaction volumes and actually got to like over $1 median transaction fee on Litecoin for like a couple days. And then now Litecoin I've seen is like almost in the 100,000 transaction range again, probably because, Ethereum. And it's not like it's hyped. No one's like, whoa, Litecoin's like going to change the world because all this stuff is going on. No, a lot of people kind of consider it a dead coin to a certain extent, but it's just, that's where it goes. And so eventually, this kind of thing can kind of happen. Eventually people are going to realize, you know what? I'm tired of waiting on Litecoin transactions. I know it's like, I'm tired of waiting for 30 confirmations or however many they want out of Litecoin. I'm tired of waiting like a couple hours. I just want this right away. And then they're going to start, trickling in, and eventually trickle becomes an avalanche, hopefully. And Dash has kind of neglected or been neglected by the trading scene for a while. And so, yeah, I think it's probably a prudent move.
Yeah, no, and to your point, we've also neglected the trading scene, I think, as a network. But like, there is also the other aspect that Dash is moving into a whole new phase. I think, to your point, the industry is, and we need to focus a little bit more on traders. Like you were saying, the other cryptocurrencies are not as useful, and in the mechanics they can go up to $1 in fees. That's unlikely to happen to us. Like it is tied to the price, but like we're still going to be the fastest and cheapest cryptocurrency for the most part to use. And I think,
so retention is going to happen, hopefully.
Exactly, and that's what we're hoping. So as we build out the different places to spend, and people are now using it to trade, they're now going to have more Dash to be able to go and spend it, and that's basically what we want. We want it to not stick within one aspect of the ecosystem. We want it to spread across the entire thing, and the more people use it, the better that Dash metrics will do, of course, and so on. But I mean, that's usually we don't focus on that, or we go crazy.
Yeah, of course. Well, Dash has seen that's one thing that I've noticed is Dash has had a very steady growth of transaction volumes over the last however many years. Mm-hmm. And a lot of other coins have taken much more advantage of hype or whatever like that. Or just actually the whole space is growing, let's be honest. But Dash has been the most consistently growing in that even at the down dumps of the bear market, it still kind of was like flat and still going up a little bit. And it just, eventually you're going to reach a point where everything else is just not scaling, but Dash keeps on creeping up. Now, as far as this whole usage. Yeah. And I mean, I'm clearly a sold person because I've been using Dash since 2016 for basically my daily money, because I was using Bitcoin and then nothing else really was viable other than Dash. And the experiences in using Dash has gotten better over the years, I've noticed. And also whenever I tell someone, hey, why don't you buy a gift card on Bitrefill, and they do it with Dash, they're just like, wow, that was so fast. And then they're hooked. Like even people who don't seem to like or care too much for it, once they've done that, they still like, whenever they talk about that use case, they're like, I do it with Dash because it's super fast. Yeah. And as far as like the FastPass integration stuff, this gets interesting when you start talking about usernames and identities. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that the username space is just as fragmented as the rest of the crypto space, where you got in Bitcoin SV, you got hand cash handles, and then you got paymails, which are both a little bit different. And then you got the rest of it, the ENS domains and unstoppable domains. And then you got FIO, Foundation for Interoperability. And then every random service is like, oh, I support this kind. Oh, I support that kind. And then eventually there's a few that have like a half dozen different naming schemes. And it gets a little bit weird. But when you have Dash usernames, is that going to be a priority for FastPass to highlight the username leveraging services?
Yeah, so I think definitely the username aspect of it will be big, but there's an opportunity to also connect these usernames, but also like I say you do KYC AML. I mean, we're talking about, obviously these are just kind of in the brainstorm ideas, but some of the ideas that we've come up with in discussions that we're vetting is like, for example, if you could do KYC AML with your username, so like kind of sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook, you'd be able to just sign up to an exchange very, very easily, right? And be able to take advantage of an opportunity there much faster than others. So
yeah, that's something that I've been really super bullish, as I hate using that term, but super stoked about Dash has been the interoperability of usernames, and my pet issue on this is social media, to where right now I have a Twitter account, I have a Facebook account, I have like 8 different social media accounts because I'm everywhere, and it's a different login for each one. I mean, some like Facebook and Instagram have like a cross kind of pollination thing. But more importantly, they all have different friends lists. And how cool would it be if you just have one login that brings your friends list with you? So if you just go to like a Reddit from a Twitter, it's just you just jump right into there, and you can use that to private message people and send them money, and it's all like super easy. Now, that stuff is what I'm really like crazy about. And of course, I don't have a bank account. I don't like banks, so I don't really care about the KYC part of things, but I know a lot of people do. So if you can have a secure way of storing KYC, and then you can just, check if the username has the Dash identity has some valid KYC credentials attached to it, like certified one place, and then which that might be a little bit tricky depending on how you do things, or like what happens if you get banned on one exchange, you get banned across the ecosystem. There's obviously a lot of particulars, but still, it's just like that's the thing that I hate the most about the old financial system. Obviously, I have ideological reasons. I don't, I believe in freedom and stuff like that, that people should be able to transact with whom they want without permission. But as a user, that's the big thing I do not miss about the fiat KYC bank world, is just having to like sign up and how long it takes. Like, hey, I want to go, hey, send me something on Venmo. Oh, I don't have a Venmo. Oh, here it is. And I can't just go username, password, I'm in. I got to be like, okay, take your little ID, take the picture with the ID. Let's do this. Let's verify. Oh, we put these like, oh, just let me go. Let me go fast. So I guess the username KYC FastPass thing might be pretty cool.
But that's actually how I came up with the idea. I was kind of fed up of taking
yeah, exactly
pictures and having like to write down like the date and this is but yeah, I think that's one of the problems we're trying to solve. I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at the trend of all the stuff that or all the releases that Dash has ever released, they're all focused on the user and the user experience. We're internally it's supposed to be so easy your grandparent can use it. So that's really the goal here, is to take away as much of the work as possible from the user and have them have a seamless user experience. And so what we're actually, this is a pretty exciting time for us, at least internally, where we're working with our product team, with Dana and Bob and Ryan and so on, to be able to figure out or come up with use cases for Dash platform that would meet that exact criteria. So we're talking to a lot of partners and also non-partners that are interested in this technology, that want to become launch partners for the Dash platform. So I personally am very excited about all the different opportunities that this is going to present to us, not just now, but like down the road with future releases.
Yeah. And that's a very interesting philosophical difference with Dash that I think it has been a source of, I guess, strong differentiation as well as frustration, is because Dash is super focused on the user, the end user, and no one else is. And I don't say like no one, but like literally 3 other people in the space are. Like, it's very like not even 3 other projects, like 3 other like people doing a couple things. There's nothing that's end user focused really. It's all terrible. And the other thing though is the end user doesn't exist. In crypto, there really isn't that much of an end user. So largely Dash has been building stuff for people who don't exist, for hypothetical customers that don't exist yet. And it's the gamble of the long term. So for example, like, who cares if you can live on crypto? I do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. Like, there's maybe like 2 other people, but no one really, like, why do I need to set up again, with the ID and all that, set up like an Uphold or whatever integration? Obviously, no offense to Uphold, it's a compliment that they go to Uphold first and be able to buy, and it just works that well. But why do I sign up for a thing, buy some Dash, eat a small fee, not very much, but still a fee, and then like buy some gift card somewhere so that then I can go pay at the restaurant I already go to and can pay cash or card at, and then just do some, maybe the price goes down and I lose some money, or like, this is the end user, and like you're targeting someone who just does not exist. And
that
hopefully,
your point is all the work, right? Like all you said was all the different steps you have to take in order to be able to live off crypto. And that is, personally, I think that's a big impediment to adoption. And so you remove those steps, you make it as easy as the legacy financial sector has done it. In many ways. Let's say like, in the US, for example, you go and you pay at a store, you can use Apple Pay, tap your card or tap your phone or whatever it is, and you're done. You grab your stuff and you walk out like that. I mean, prior to COVID, I guess now you just do it online.
Well, my life hasn't changed that much right here in New Hampshire, but hey.
But yeah, but like to the point though, you can't like these steps are, people just don't have the time for them. And so you want to make it as attractive as possible by solving those problems, and then you'll find that there are more people using it. But you got to get them to try it. You got to get their attention. And so, with FastPass, that's what we're doing. We're getting people's attention and being like, look, we've taken away a lot of steps for you, a lot of time you have to wait, and we're also going to tell you how to use this. So I think like that's basically a step in that direction. I don't want to say that this is the end.
Of course. Yeah. So I guess kind of like a final question, which I have to do like a background explaining on. From what I've been told, Dash identities are flexible enough that the way you can associate things to them, you should be able to also associate things like other cryptocurrency keys and stuff, so that you could possibly use a Dash username to send Litecoin or something like that, or receive Litecoin or something like that. And there is some kind of interoperability that can be created. And obviously you're talking about ecosystem like exchanges using Dash for Dash. When you use Dash, it all works out so super well. Yeah. Now, have you thought of or explored any kind of an initiative or idea where you'd actually try to be what one could say project agnostic, to basically try to say, hey, let's just say LBRY, the decentralized video, etc. platform. You work great, you're doing your thing, but it's hard for anyone to get in to buy your credits to just use this little YouTube thing and tip on there. It's a little bit, so let's put like a Dash front end on there that just auto converts through one of our partners from Dash to credits, and then you can basically, tip on decentralized YouTube with Dash, and they don't see that it comes into LBRY credits. Like reach out to that partner, or just say, hey, you guys like, Litecoin for whatever reason. Do you want to have your Litecoin wallet? You just have a quick and easy username that it auto converts enough Litecoin to Dash so that you pay the credit fees to actually like run a username. And this has been an idea for me, and of course, long preamble to the question, right? But this has been an idea for me for a little while, because all the multi-coin wallets out there kind of suck. And the Dash wallet is just smooth. Like, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's very like usable. It's very noob friendly, very easy to recommend. And I'm testing the Dash Pay username wallet in the alpha right now as well, and it's also like that. And then and the problem is I try to say, oh, this is so easy, and then they're like, oh yeah, I don't have Dash though. And it's like, well, then I have to like sell them on Dash, which, I'd rather just sell them on the wallet and have them do what they used to be doing, but through this wallet and using Dash in the background. So basically, is there any thought to kind of approaching beyond just the Dash boundaries, not just like the proprietary Dash ecosystem and then the Dash supporting services, but to actually try to put the Dash FastPass experience to facilitate other projects, kind of work with other separate blockchain projects?
Yeah, so I mean, like, BD, we are, I don't want to say project agnostic, but we do recognize that other projects add value, to the industry, and we're always, open to working with other projects on this, like I've spoken with several different projects across the crypto environment in order to come up with something that we can do together. And ultimately those haven't panned out, but we've built good relationships with them. However, I do know of partners that are doing something actually very similar to what you're saying. They're big believers in Dash. But they want to onboard more users. So their solution was to have something that auto converts to Dash. So opening it up to multiple different projects, people submit their Bitcoin or whatever, and then it converts to Dash, and they receive Dash, like the company itself. So that's one way of doing it. And then they continuously give out Dash through a number of different ways. So they're getting this cryptocurrency and then putting Dash into more hands, which is a win-win for everyone. So like no one has to go and convert anything; it's just done automatically. So it's not too hard. It's kind of similar to doing something like we have I can't remember, it's in one of the Latin American partners, but they have a way where, let's say you're standing in a grocery store line and you realize you don't have enough balance to check out. Somebody sends over their dollars or whatever it is from the U.S. And then it auto converts into they send Dash and it auto converts into that local currency.
Yeah.
So once they swipe the card, so the balance is shown both in Dash and is shown in the local currency. They swipe the card. The merchant has no idea that there's Dash being used in this transaction because they're just receiving local currency. So and this is using fiat and Dash, and it's not too difficult to do it the other way around, or rather with crypto is probably it's probably easier.
Yeah. So to hit that analogy, then we're going from just being like, Google search or just like a very specific consumer facing function of Dash to then being like Google everything, like Dash everything. Dash gets you into all kind of unified login thing. And then we're talking about other non-Google companies that have a sign in with Google option. And that would be kind of this last phase of things. And then all that equals world domination. So in a good way though, in a don't be evil way.
Yeah. We're definitely trying to attract more people, and these are initiatives that we're working with on the partner side. So this will be like, not siloed, I want to say, but like it's going to exist on a few sites. As for like Dash Core Group and what we're going to be adding to the wallet and our features, it's more like where we'd like to take an approach that is useful for our Dash users. So they're currently looking through different options and different ideas and exploring, different strategies on that. So I don't know too much about how that's going to turn out, but I can tell you, on the business development side and what my partners are working on is that this is going to be coming out. And, if it works, if these, initiatives are very successful, these are things I can take internally and be like, hey, is this something that we can use? So
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm supporting it. So we'll see how it works out.
Well, fantastic. So where do we find out more about this kind of stuff?
Well, these things are constantly happening. So you're going to see a bunch of news across like FastPass. I'm going to be very focused on building that out, building on the momentum that we've created with the launch. You're going to start seeing functionality, like I was talking about earlier with the trading bots. You're going to start seeing education. There's going to be like an educational page that's going to come out with lots of content that our partners and us are working together on different, hot topics and as well basic topics and analysis and so on. So these are things that you can expect that are going to be coming out like continuously. And then separately, you're also going to see a lot of fun stuff coming from like, the esports side, as well as from, the Latin America business development side. So we're very busy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Only 24 hours in the day, and we seem to be usually working on work, I guess, during those hours. But the results are good, and it's definitely continuously motivating us at this point.
Amazing. Well,
I do want to just mention as well, as far as like the FastPass, I could not have done this without the support of a lot of our team. So it was definitely like a team initiative that made it happen. It was thank you to Fernando and Mark and Ryan and Ernesto and Strophe and all our partners that made this happen. I think this is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for being on, and I hope this gets a lot of people excited.
Absolutely. Yeah, same here. Thank you for having me on.